It's about drive, it's about power. A young wolf built to devour. Look in his red eyes and start to cower at the sight of his glower. Got Geese's blood in his veins and Terry got him to train. And since his first game, no one's forgotten his name.
What they gonna get though?
Another character that needs no introduction, but he's gonna get one for consistency purposes. Rock was a tremendous example of a new generation fighting game character done right. He had prodigious shoes to fill in Fatal Fury, being the successor to Terry Bogard as the main protagonist. It turns out he was quite successful, as Rock remains one of the most popular and lauded characters amongst SNK fans. These are 10 fascinating facts about Rock Howard. Number 1, a fresh face for a fresh age. Whether you're talking about the greatest SNK fighting games of all time, or just the greatest fighting games of all time in general, Garou Mark of the Wolves is bound to be on most lists. Garou was SNK looking to establish a new generation era for one of its most classic franchises. If this sounds a bit familiar to you, it's because SNK had also done this with a different fighting game 5 years prior. Similar to one of the ideas behind Kyo's conception for KOF 94, Rock was created to contrast most of the previous masculine Fatal Fury characters. The game was littered with older, macho male characters, which, in an interview with Famitsu, Nobuyuki Kuroki found problematic for a fresh new installment. That's where SNK brought in Rock Howard, who had a much more youthful, athletic, and lean appearance. Oddly enough, while Rock would seem like a cool and perfect face to lead a new generation, SNK were actually a bit shaky about him, which we'll get back to later. Number 2, spread the wings and fly away to Dreamland. Though this is a widely known fact, I'm just glad I finally get to talk about music on this series for once. Awesome! Rock's very first theme song, Spread the Wings, is an absolute banger. Enough said. Of course, top-tier music nerds probably heard this song and thought it sounded suspiciously similar to Robert Miles' Children. Unlike most instances of similar-sounding songs, this was done on purpose, as the composers of Garou's music were reportedly fans of Robert Miles. Fun fact, the composition Children itself was likened to a song that preceded it. The song in question is Napoy Minya Vodoy, which translated from Russian means Quench My Thirst, as performed by Gadik Sukachov. No lawsuits were filed though, as Sukachov stated that he had given his consent for the melody to be used in the song. Come Rock's playable appearance in 14 on April 5th, 2017, his old theme was scrapped for a brand new rock-infused song called Emergence. Sadly, the following month, Robert Miles passed away at age 47 due to pancreatic cancer. Though Emergence is a pretty awesome tune, most fans still prefer Spread the Wings, and it was actually the song that introduced me and possibly others to Robert Miles' music. If you haven't heard it already, go check out Dreamland. In my opinion, it is a masterpiece. Number 3, natural talent. As we all know, Rock's playstyle is a mixture of his biological father Geese and his adoptive father Terry. However, it would be the latter that actually trained him. So how did Rock obtain the ability to learn his father's techniques when he wasn't really in his life? If you answered maybe he's just born with it, you're technically right. In a Q&A with Garou developers, they claim that Rock had learned Geese's techniques without even realizing. It's totally believable that Rock could pick up some of his father's techniques despite not being directly trained by him, as his father and Terry Bogard both trained under Tung Fu Ryu. Also, I'm now just realizing Rock and Shunei are basically both Hakyoku Seiken practitioners. Speaking of Shunei, number 4, mutual uncertainty. If you watch Shunei's 10 Facts video from this series, you may recall that he had an interesting connection to Rock Howard. For those of you who haven't seen that video, simply put, some designers who helped create Rock also played a part in Shunei's visual development. Well, while researching for this video, I found something else they had in common. Also in the Shunei video, we learned that SNK wasn't initially all in on him being the main protagonist of the current arc, given how they were talking about him in that interview with Ryan Hart. It turns out that despite being leagues more popular and well received than Shunei, SNK had similar sentiments toward Rock Howard in the beginning. On January 17, 2016, Nobuyuki Kuroki posted a 1998 sketch that he did of Rock on Facebook. In the accompanying caption, Kuroki recalls how uncertain he and Oda were about making Rock the main protagonist of Garou. They were clearly looking for a successor to Terry, despite the fact the Wild Wolf would be playable. They ultimately went with Rock despite their indecisiveness, and yeah, Rock became an instant hit, going as far as to eclipse one of the biggest faces of SNK in a Garou popularity poll. Bonus fun fact, going back to the Shunei comparisons, just as Shunei's current voice actor has a big sister who's a voice actor, the same goes for Rock's most recent voice actor, Yuma Uchida. However, his big sister Maya Uchida hasn't voiced any KOF characters. If you're familiar with her roles, comment below below and let me know what KOF character you think she would be a perfect fit for. Number 5, post-leaks get heat. Even back with KOF 14, leakers just couldn't help themselves. As many of us will recall, en route to the release of the Season 1 DLC pass, Rock had been leaked as the final character in said season. This reveal was overwhelmingly positive across the KOF community, except for one very important person, that being KOF 14 director Yasuki Oda. On Facebook, Oda made his feelings toward the leak incredibly clear, simply stating that he felt, quote, pissed off. I've talked about my distaste for leakers several times before, and seeing this video is about Rock, I don't want to waste too much time on that, so I'll just keep it simple. To those of you who love to ruin surprises, nobody likes you! Number 6, his playable 14 debut was more interesting than you remember. When it came to including him on a KOF roster, Rock had seemingly spent most of his time locked out via Legacy. The KOF team reportedly didn't want to include him on the roster out of respect for the original Fatal Fury staff. Rock is in the mainline KOF canon, but as a child. Despite all these barriers and discrepancies, SNK pulled the trigger and made Rock playable in 14 via DLC. Though his appearance is non-canon, fans didn't care. They were just happy to finally play Rock in a mainline KOF game. With this playable appearance, Rock became the first and so far only character to make a playable debut in Maximum Impact prior to making a playable debut in the mainline KOF series. Yep, Rock was playable in the spin-off before officially making his way to the mainline series. Additionally, Rock's playable 14 debut made him the first character in the mainline KOF series to make their debut as a DLC character. Before you mention Mr. Karate in KOF 13, if KOD doesn't count as a new character, then I don't count him either. They are both alter egos of characters that have been playable in previous mainline KOF games. When Rock showed up, it was the Rock Howard. We didn't see Teen Rock, Young Rock, or Kid Rock as a playable character in a previous KOF game. Number 7, a little something new in Garou 2. Garou 2. What could have been. While this game never came out, SNK was cool enough to fill us in on some info about it. They revealed the cast of the sequel, reportedly adding in an apprentice of Joe Higashi and a new grappler character. Judging by an interview at Famitsu, it appeared the old characters probably wouldn't have gone into the new installment without a little something new themselves. Nobuyuki Kuroki stated that he had came up with new moves for Rock Howard, as well as fellow fan favorite B. Jenny. Whether or not these moves were incorporated into their movesets in their appearances in later games is unknown. Number 8, K-Clash. Garou Mark of the Wolves was being developed around the same time as KOF 99, two different SNK fighting games, both introducing brand new main protagonists. Who'd have thought that these two games would stumble into a little snafu? Developers had noted a few visual similarities between Rock Howard and then premier KOF protagonist K-Dash, particularly with their hairstyles. This caused K-Dash to undergo a bit of a redesign. The KOF 10th anniversary website stated that this fiasco caused K-Dash's designer to become very nervous, jokingly stating that the designer, quote, lost a few pounds from panic. Number 9, his double cameo. KOF 2003 was Rock's last canon appearance in the mainline KOF series. Depending on who you ask, he may have made 2 cameos in that game. The first and most obvious appearance is in the opening of KOF 2003, where you see Rock as a youngster. The second one is disputed. In the Fatal Fury team ending, there's a shot of a crowd which appears to include one Rock Howard, or somebody who looks strikingly similar to him. Some believe that this is indeed Rock Howard, while others argue the opposite. Those who argue against this man being Rock Howard claim it's an impossibility seeing that Rock is a child in the mainframe KOF continuity. This reasoning makes the most sense, as Rock doesn't have any evil twins roaming around the KOF universe, far as we know. Number 10, his long-lost twins. While he may not have any twins in the KOF universe, Rock does have quite a few elsewhere. One of them is actually the protagonist of another SNK fighting game franchise, that being the awakened Kaede from The Last Blade. While their fashion sense is drastically different, the two of them facially favor one another, both being blonde Bishonens bearing bloody red eyes. SNK further played up this comparison, having Rock wearing Kaede's outfit in Maximum Impact. Some have also likened someone from the Tekken universe to Rock Howard, that being Leo. They are literally a pair of black pants and boots away from basically cosplaying Rock Howard. Also, Leo's fighting style is Baji Quan, which is one of the fighting styles Hakyo Kuseiken is based on. Finally, there's a character that is a direct homage to Rock, Feather from Grand Blue Fantasy. I mean, I don't think I need to explain it. Feather even has several moves and animations that are directly lifted from the wolf's pedigree. And that's that. Know any other cool facts about Rock Howard? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos in the future. I, of course, am C49, signing off. You all take care of yourselves, be safe out there. Jumanji.